Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We are going to continue on the redesign train, and today we are redesigning the first Five Nights at Freddy's from the first game, not like the first one in the lore because I know it's a different game. But if I'm being honest, I literally forgot the entirety of the lore. So while making the Five Nights at Freddy's redesigns, we're also going to make a new story and lore so it makes sense to me and so I'm not confused and have to watch hundreds of hours of game theory again. But let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. First up, we're gonna start with Freddy. I feel like Freddy doesn't get like a lot of love. He's literally in the name, Five Nights at Freddy's. And I feel like he's maybe one of the least popular out of the entire group. Honestly, I'm not any better. My favorites are the Bonnies. But mostly what I designed for him, for all of the animatronics, whether they were masculine, I suppose. Like Freddy is a guy, Bonnie's a guy, and Foxy's a guy, and even Golden Freddy's a guy, or the animatronics, not what's in them, even though my story's a little different. I'll get into that in a minute. But I decided to add these eyelashes to them. There is a show, and I don't know if it's The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or if it was Gravity Falls, but they put eyelashes on their animatronics, and I low-key love that. So to keep them more of a friendlier feel, I put eyelashes on every animatronic. But mostly I gave him a suit and I gave him a bigger bow because I love bad bitches with bows. But with his claws, I decided to make his hands super big, and so he can't like fully close his claws because they don't want anybody getting hurt, especially since the last animatronic diner, my apologies. And technically he can't open his hand with the mic, it is just the mic. He also can't open his mouth since he has sharp teeth. Basically all of the music that comes out is from the microphone. I thought that was a cool thing. I also gave him glasses because I thought that would make him look more friendly-ish, and I also gave him a top hat that was originally Golden Freddy's, and I thought that would be a fun dynamic between them. But most importantly, I gave him a suit because, no offense, I think it's weird to have basically naked animatronics just walking around. I guess he has a bow and a hat, but the only animatronic that has an outfit is technically Foxy with pants, and that is it. Why are they all naked? Because no, like, imagine this scene. Mother. Shit. Yeah, honey? I wish to go see the naked bear for my birthday. Oh, okay, Timmy. I'll take you to go see the bear, okay? Adequate, mother. Like, what the fuck? Like, nothing on Scott, like, of course, but, like, apparently in the lore, they are supposed to be, like, the newest ones, and they're naked, and they were more advanced, and I get, like, his style changes, but the lore don't make sense no more. Why are they naked? Before I lose my mind, I should probably talk about the lore changes I want. But for my Five Nights at Freddy's story, basically, instead of them being children, they are more teenagers that were working at the diner at the time. And I have a super, I was gonna say cute, but it's actually more tragic one for Chica, I suppose. Sorry, Chica, I love you. Basically, with Freddy, I was thinking that he could work at the ticket counter to help kids get prizes and stuff. Like, after school, he'd bike to the restaurant and start working. For his colors, I kept it pretty simple. I gave him this very nice warm brown instead of the other brown he has, because I feel like this felt more there and warm. I don't know. And then for his, like, accent colors, I gave him just a lighter color from the red to just give him some variety than just keeping the reddish brown. Also, instead of a black bow that he normally has on, I gave him a red bow because I kind of wanted to give a red feeling to the restaurant, because if y'all didn't know, there is Restaurants that use red most likely will get more things because people associate red with food and hunger. I personally see orange as hunger because I've played The Sims before. For the white suit color that's under the suit, I decided to give it a yellowish tint to show that it is old and that it used to be maybe Golden Freddy's. But I also made this man chubby because a bear, but I made Golden Freddy kind of skinny since they were originally like mascot outfits. But this is Freddy. Next up is Chica, aka the only girl in the entire first Five Nights at Freddy's game. I'm pretty sure. But I went for a southern-ish outfit because Chica, chicken, I always think of southern things, and well, I live in Texas, so there's that. But I also decided to make the cupcake an actual animatronic instead of just a cupcake that she holds. And I was thinking for her story that she could be a teen mom and she was working at the restaurant for a little bit and she had to bring her son, and well, let's just say since she brought him, he died, she tried helping, and she died, and so now they're stuck together, and so she's watching over him while they are in the restaurant and the animatronics. But I also had an idea that she's not on stage since I don't even know what instrument she'd be playing. I think Bonnie and Freddy should be the only ones on stage, but I think Chica would be perfect as like a server or someone that helps in the kitchen since she's like a foodie in the actual games. And so I thought that would be a cool idea. Her and her kid could like and have them help around the restaurant. But I was thinking about making her one of the oldest teens, not like the oldest. I definitely want Golden Freddy to be the oldest, but not like by a much. If anything, I want to make Golden Freddy either 20 or 19, and like he was like an assistant manager at the time, and then have Chica being around 17 or 18, and she got knocked up around 16 or 17, depending on what age I choose. And she had the kid. Her parents are letting her stay, but they're kind of really disappointed, and she can feel it, and they're not really helping her out. They're just giving her a place to live because her parents are kind of piece of shit, but they like go to church, so if they kick out their daughter, it's gonna be a whole a whole mess. And basically the guy that knocked her up basically left her to do it all on her own. He's not sending money. She can't get child support from him, all because his family is like pretty rich in the town they live in. And in the lore, before she dies, her son would be around 2 or 1 at the point. He's a well-behaved kid. He's normally very quiet and doesn't really do much. He mostly just likes to stay around his mom. But I still try to keep her kind of chicken-ish. I gave her orange feet and a beak, but ultimately I kept her super yellow. In fact, I made her skin like yellow and made her hair very light, because a lot of people, when they make her, they decide to give her a very light skin tone, just making her look white. And I was like, no, these guys are animatronics. But with her like bib, I decided to put it on her waist, and I feel like her being this motherly figure would keep the moms happy during this like family-friendly place, so I feel like that was good. And I also put red on her dress to basically pull in the colors of the restaurant, since I'm wanting it to be red-ish, kind of. I gave I think his name is Carl? Okay, hold on. Mr. Cupcake or Carl? Okay, so it's Mr. Cupcake or Carl. I'm gonna go with Carl because I think that's super cute. But instead of the blue shirt I gave him, I decided to give him a white shirt. I felt like that looked a lot better. And I added a ducktail to Chica, but that's her. Oh my god, next up is Bonnie. Oh my god, I love Bonnie. I love Bonnie so much. Bonnies are my literal favorite Five Nights at Freddy's characters. Dude, when he was not in Security Breach, I literally cried. That is my boy. I love him so much. I love Bonnie. Basically, for Bonnie, I wanted him to be a nerdy, quiet, like he doesn't get bullied in high school, but he's definitely not popular, and he doesn't really talk to people. He doesn't like people in general. He's just a guy. He wants to be left alone with his, like, games and books and stuff. He just, dude, I love Bonnie so much. Ignoring the very clear favoritism, I basically wanted him to be the tallest of the group. I wanted him to always be slumped over. I wanted him to be long and lanky, and don't get me wrong, I love when people make his ears up, but bunnies with floppy ears are literally the best. I have like 3 OCs that have floppy bunny ears. It is fucking awesome. Also, I have like literally never made a guitar before, so me making one right now was a bit of a challenge, but I hope it looks decent enough considering I didn't look at any type of reference for it. Mostly with Bonnie, I wanted to show that he's reserved. Like, he enjoys playing guitar, but since he has such big fingers, he can't really play them. But he like, trains every day after hours, and he has actually gotten really good on making the guitar work on its own. But it kind of doesn't work considering they don't want it to make noise, so there's like a speaker in the back. So just like Freddy's mic, his guitar is the one that makes the noise, and then when he's like offline, he fake strums it, I suppose. But when he's online, he likes to do his best, and until Michael figures out that they are alive, he's just like, well, can you give me an actual guitar I can use at night? And he's like, yeah. And so Bonnie gets a guitar. Yippee. But I gave him these, like, huge overall pants with, like, a little patch in them. And originally I wasn't going to give him a bow on his chest, and I was just going to give it to, like, when it, like, hits the back, instead of, like, buttons, it's the bow. But I decided to give him an actual bow anyway. I'm sorry, he's just too iconic without it. I tried making it look more like an electric guitar rather than, like, I see people doing banjos, which is cute and sweet, and I love that. But even though they do probably play some, like, country banjo songs, and it doesn't make sense, he just looks badass. I love him so much. And I decided to make him blue rather than purple, because there's always been a debate, but I've always seen Bonnie as blue rather than purple, although it would kind of make sense with, like, his light blue counterpart. But, like, dark blue and light blue, that's awesome, that's cool, I like that. But I also gave him the red from the restaurant, the bows, the guitar, but that's Bonnie. Oh my god, it's Foxy, yippee. Okay, look, I love Foxy. I needed this man to be, like, a golden retriever boy. He's, like, I think he's also the same age as Bonnie, and they, like, went to school together, but this kid's more of, like, Brett from Inside Job, like, because there is one scene where he's a goth and a basketball player, and no, it was a football player, and I think that's super funny. And I want that to be Foxy. Like, I need this man to run around and do everything. This guy has ADHD and he has no medication. I definitely went more pirate with him, which I do enjoy, but I'm kind of worried that I need to think about something different with Mangled, but whatever, we'll cross that line when we get to there. But he's a fox, and I love him so much. He's just so silly. His eye, he does not have a working eye under that eye patch. It is broken because they originally had an actual hook and he accidentally stabbed himself in the eye, and a lot of kids saw that. So it's foam now, but they put the eye cover on it, and he's like, wow, you're more of a pirate, guys. And same thing with Freddy. He can't close the paw. Since he's so wild, he might accidentally hit someone. So his nails are foam as well, since he is super duper wild. Foxy is more of the, like, clown and stuff of the thing. Like, I feel like he has his own room rather than being, like, next to the stage. So on the stage, it is Freddy and Bonnie, and then Chica is either serving or helping in the kitchen, and then Foxy has his own room, and it could be, like, the extra fun room or something. For before he died, I think he was a party hostess and he was like super good at his job until, well, he accidentally got killed. Well, not accidentally, it was super duper on purpose. But basically, Foxy, I'm either thinking that Foxy is either a super Christian and he thinks this is a blessing from God so he can entertain children more, or he thinks it's fake because he has an overactive imagination and he's either sleeping or it's just something that he is daydreaming about that he doesn't want to end, but ultimately he's gonna think this is a good thing while everybody calls him fucking stupid. Foxy basically gets along with everybody. He loves talking to everybody. He loves helping out in the kitchen and stuff. He does make a mess sometimes, but ultimately it's not like the worst thing. And he enjoys taking care of Carl while Chica is busy with other things. I know Foxy is out of order in the game, but I feel like his chest and his, there's nothing on his feet, and I feel like parents wouldn't be okay with this very clearly either broken or unfinished fox playing or being near their children, so I definitely died down how much it was. He's pure fluff now, and I gave him this nice red so I didn't have to tie in the other colors of the restaurant, and I gave him this cream-ish thing just to dye down all the red, but this is Foxy. Yippee! We're at the end. We're doing Golden Freddy for our last one. For Golden Freddy's story, I was thinking he could have been an assistant manager because I personally have some really young managers, and I thought it would be kind of fun to have that since I think Afton, or I haven't really put the storyline together, but if Afton is the manager and he probably doesn't show up there very often, or he's most likely working on other animatronics, then Golden Freddy could have been basically the main manager there. I was thinking he could have started out as a waiter and then he got promoted to assistant manager because a lot of other people were dying. And I feel like the reason why he died was because when Chica went to go find her son and found him, and she ended up dying because Afton got caught, he went to go find Chica, or the human Chica, and she was gone, and he felt horrible, and I feel like she'd still be alive, and he was promising her and her kid that it was going to be okay, that he was going to get them out of there, and I feel like he owes that debt to them because they clearly didn't get out of there. So I feel like that would be a really fun relationship they could have. But I feel like he still acts like a manager. He stays in the back most of the time, probably doing some taxes and stuff for Michael, and just overall running the restaurant. I feel like he does come out of the office every once in a while to ask Michael some questions, and some kids see him and they think he's a special edition of Freddy, and they get really excited, and he kind of gets really excited that they get excited about him, and he kind of really enjoys that. And he originally, since he was from the first restaurant that got shut down, so he kind of misses having all the kids be like, oh my god, it's Freddy. But technically that is just the animatronic talking rather than the guy. But for his design, I decided to keep the bear ears I did for Freddy. And he originally had a hat, but I decided to take that away and put it on Freddy as other things. He's passing the hat off to the other newer animatronic for it. And his suit's kind of old-fashioned. I didn't want to go too in-depth because, I have more of these to make. But I originally really wanted to give him these poofy pants that stop near his knee, but they just weren't looking as good as I was expecting, and I kind of had to just give up and give him regular pants. But I wanted to show off maybe an older design from the first restaurant. He can close his hands now. That's why I drew him with his fist closed. So he's kind of angry looking, but he's pretty much friendly. That's why new people often don't like that he's just sitting in the back doing taxes. But I decided to give him only one eye, since I feel like that, since in the original he's supposed to have two souls, which is Chris, or the crying child, and Cassidy, so I felt like it would be like an homage to the original. And if I ever wanted to add more to him, like add an extra soul, then I can do that and give him an extra eye. But as of right now, it's only the manager. To give more to the restaurant being red, I decided to make his vest red and make it a slightly different type of suit. And I made the white part much darker since he's a lot older than the other ones, and I decided to give him a black bow because I feel like if I gave him a red bow and a red vest, it'd all clash far too much. And I gave him eyelids. I feel like the other animatronics can't blink because when Afton and Henry were working together, they were just like, we gotta make this the most advanced stuff. And they made him blink, but it took them like ages to figure out and just wasted a lot of time. So with these new versions, they decided not to have them blink, showing more progression rather than the other stuff. I also gave him a darker gold. His original color would have been like a bright gold along with a lighter white, but this is Golden Freddy. And we are finished. I actually really enjoy how they turned out. These are some of my favorite designs by far, maybe. I do enjoy my old designs, but these were so simple and just easy and laid back. And I am actually going to do a series with this. I'm wanting to do the FNAF games and finalize my lore for this, and I also want to do the Afton family. I also have other redesign ideas, and I'm not just gonna have this series just be one laid out by another. I feel like that would be too one-on-one, and I want y'all to have some variety. I have another idea for a redesign video, and I have a video idea that I should actually probably be recording today because I'm pretty sure it is today, so I should probably get that done too. But this video will come out first, and then that video will come out either a week or a few weeks later. So y'all will be getting some variety towards my content and all that stuff. But I actually want to take one really quick moment before I end this video and say absolutely thank you to the new people who have decided to support me and my channel, and to the people that have subscribed recently and started watching my redesign videos, which is probably why I'm doing a lot of these. Y'all seem to like them and I love making them. You guys are absolutely so sweet, and just thank you. This has been my dream for years, and it's finally starting to pick up steam, and that is wonderful. And not thank you to just the new people, to the old people as well who have been supporting me for years, months, or even just simply days. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you so much. Y'all are changing my life right now. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.